But once it get close to that time, you know what I mean, it's time to go to work, you know? And when we go to work, y'all know what comes after that.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
This is the fight that I've been kind of waiting for my entire life. I didn't have to make this fight. This fight, I could have just stayed at 135 pounds, sat comfortable at 35. I don't feel like no fighter at 135 can beat me. I made this fight happen because I know Teo is one of the guys at 140.
Terence Crawford loses his cool at the press conference, confronting Teofimo Lopez Sr. and delivering a strong warning that Shakur will cause real damage to his son in the ring.
He's a work of art. Sky is the limit with Shakur. No, he got the boxing skills and the ability to, do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division, and be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. confidently says his team has analyzed Shakur in detail and believes they have found several obvious weaknesses in his fighting approach.
It'll be a great fight. I want everybody to come and see it. If you can't, just watch it on TV.
You've had to come up with some good game plans over the years to beat some great fighters, Lomachenko, Taylor, among them. How difficult is this man, Shakur Stevenson, to prepare for?
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. We broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. We didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. Within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
Terence Crawford firmly warns them that Shakur is very tough to defeat thanks to his top-level skills, smart ring awareness, steady composure, and effortless control over fights.
Oh, man, you out of your mind.
Okay.
My son fought without no air. My son fought without no air against Cambosis.
You can't fight for your son. You can't fight for your son.
You gonna tell me, man? Come on.
You can't fight for your son.
I bet you gonna quit.
Yeah, okay, you gonna...
Teofimo Lopez Sr. says they won't let Shakur settle in the ring, confidently predicting he will lose just like Lomachenko and other fighters Teofimo has defeated before fight night.
I almost missed that one. There it go. 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 God damn. There it go, bro. He trying to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He's trying. Man, I performed. You know that? I told y'all what I was gonna do. I was gonna come out here and beat his ass every game. And look, he's thinking about saying, let's play again.
At the press conference, Shakur grows angry, facing off with Teofimo Sr. and insisting that he has no right to speak for his son in the fight.
Went up to 140, I said, let me get the Ring Magazine champion. Let's fight that guy. Let's fight the guy that's the guy. And all that more pressure stuff don't mean nothing. As long as I'm like locked in and I'm focused on what I'm supposed to be doing, nothing else matters around me. That 4-weight world champion, it means everything to me. That's me separating myself. A lot of these guys that they claim is the guys nowadays, none of them can say that they are a 4-weight world champion. Honestly, for a minute before Devin went and did it, none of them could say they was really 3-weight world champion. So now for me to go to the 4th and the next level is a different type of thing. And a lot of people got to respect me because at the end of the day, if they don't respect me, they don't got no choice but.
Terence Crawford trains consistently with Shakur Stevenson, honing their skills, developing strategies, and preparing intensely together for their highly anticipated fight.
Teofimo Lopez has a bit of an issue. It's something that it's not always an issue, but it's something that certain fighters can turn into a weakness for him, and it's something that is a weakness for him when he fights the way he did in this fight. And that is the low lead hand that he has. It's great when you are trying to set things up. It can be really good when you're jabbing because it's out of your opponent's eye line very often. They can't see it coming. But when you're being this aggressive, it simply does not work, in my opinion. And there were multiple times in this fight where George Kambosos just let Teo come to him and core him with powerful, aggressive counter punches. I'd say that Kambosos found his range and his timing very, very quickly in this fight, and I'm just going to show you a couple of moments here in round one that really stood out to me where Teofimo Lopez was being exceptionally aggressive. So you can see with this lead hook here that George Kambosos lands as a counter punch. It's a very, very key shot for anyone who is facing Teofimo Lopez, and I'm just going to break it down for you now. So the thing about Teofimo Lopez is, because he can be very London,
Shakur stays completely focused on becoming a champion, carefully following his game plan, improving every skill, and maintaining strict discipline to perform at his very best in the ring.
Expect someone to really attack you from that range in boxing, but he does. And the thing about the way he does this is there's usually a bit of a tell. So watch here, what he does is he takes a step first to load that front foot, which then permits the pendulum step. It allows him to shuffle in, and I'll show you what I mean by that as you're watching here. Let me just undo that. 2 small arrows is what I'm looking for. So watch here, leans on that front foot, and then he goes with the pendulum, back foot in, lead foot forward, and he lands in this position here. Now you can see the problem with this position here is that his balance is going to be hard to get because his feet are so wide and his hands are low. So whilst his chin is tucked in, that's good. His hands are low. And as he throws, Kambosos has that lead hand ready and waiting. Watch what happens here. He quickly leans back, he fires that check left hook, and he gets out. Beautiful work. Now, the other moment that we need to see from this one is probably the most dramatic moment of his career, where he landed an absolutely huge counter overhand right. And it definitely shocked Teofimo Lopez. It was what caused all the panic in the corner. I don't think he thought he could get.
Analyst Henry points out that in Teofimo Lopez's fight against George Kambosos Jr., a weakness in his style became obvious. While Lopez's low lead hand can help set up jabs and disrupt opponents, it becomes a problem when he fights aggressively. Kambosos took advantage of this, moving in to land strong counterpunches with perfect timing.
Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that definitely makes sense. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I got Shakur for sure. Shakur.
Do you think he wins this comfortably, or do you think it'll be a close fight?
I think he wins it comfortably, yeah. I think he wins it comfortably. I think, Shakur, I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You can see in some fights he's struggling. Teo does struggle. Now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggles. And, he does struggle on a whole lot of fights and stuff. Like, I think he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Barboza. But like I said, for the most part, Teo does struggle. And I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But I think with Shakur, I think Shakur's going to break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. It might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then
Henry points out a critical moment in round 1 when Campbell's lead hook lands perfectly as a counter, highlighting the risk in Lopez's lunging attacks. Lopez often steps forward to load his front foot, then moves in with a pendulum step, creating wide stances and low hands. Even with his chin tucked, this stance weakens his balance and leaves openings. Kambosos takes full advantage, landing a sharp left hook, pulling back safely, and later connecting with a powerful overhand right that shakes Lopez and sparks panic in his corner.
after that, I feel like, Shakur is probably going to start stepping up, and Teo's going to try to hit him, and it's not going to work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, and that's the ones that hurt the most, when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, I feel like Shakur is going to beat him comfortably. Not knockout, but comfortable 12 rounds for sure.
Have you sparred Lopez before?
I never sparred Teo, no, never sparred Teo.
Regis Prograde believes Shakur Stevenson holds both a mental and technical edge over Teofimo Lopez. While he recognizes Lopez's athletic ability, he stresses that talent alone isn't enough at the top level. Prograde notes that Lopez can be inconsistent, showing moments of brilliance but struggling to stay focused through an entire fight. In contrast, Stevenson enters every bout with a clear plan, patience, and discipline, making him hard to outsmart. Prograde also highlights Stevenson's mental toughness, pointing out that he stays calm under pressure, adapts quickly to opponents, and avoids unnecessary risks. Lopez, meanwhile, can get frustrated or over-aggressive, leaving openings for counters and mistakes. This mix of strategy, composure, and technical skill gives Stevenson a major advantage, suggesting that while Lopez has physical tools, Stevenson's fight IQ and mental strength could be the deciding factor.
About the fight?
I don't know, man. I feel.
You've been playing these little mind games. I love it. And the little interviews.
I'm just having fun, man. I'm just being fun.
Yeah. The boxing world needs that too. The promotion, they just put out the Versace interview, right? And we wanted to see that early, right when you guys did it.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're doing real good though. They're promoting it well right now.
You like how they're promoting it? You think it's like they were talking about this like the leaders of the new school? That's how you feel?
I mean, it's gotta be. Ain't nobody else doing it like we doing it.
Michael Conlon describes the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as one of the most thrilling matchups in boxing today. On paper, it's a battle between two highly skilled fighters, each with their own strengths. Conlon notes that both Lopez and Stevenson have shown top-level talent, precise technique, and the ability to perform under pressure, making the fight especially exciting for fans and analysts. He highlights that Stevenson is known for his tactical intelligence and adaptability, while Lopez brings explosive power and athleticism, creating a striking contrast in styles. Conlon believes this mix could produce a competitive, unpredictable fight that challenges both fighters' skills, resilience, and strategy, making it a must-watch for boxing fans around the world.
Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But, if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko or against Josh Taylor.
Antonio Tarver views the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight with the perspective of an experienced boxing analyst, looking beyond records and recent bouts. He warns that judging Lopez only by his last few fights would be misleading, as his skills run deeper than the stats show. Tarver highlights Lopez's natural athleticism, power, and fight intelligence, noting that when used effectively, he can be a serious threat to any opponent.
Fights to the level of his competition. And I've been thinking like, hey, if we get the best version of Teo, like the Teo that showed up for those fights, does that Teo beat the best Shakur?
It would have, I think that's the only chance he got, is to really be his ultra self, doing all the things that makes him Teofimo Lopez. The footwork could be a major advantage for him. Being able to get inside. A lot of times he fights free. He don't really have a style. He does what it takes. And he's a gutsy fighter. Real gutsy. He's not going to be leery to take chances. He's a gambler in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's a live underdog, I would say. A live underdog, but if he's to win this fight, I think he has to probably stop Shakur Stevenson. He's going to have to hit him with something, and let's hope Shakur's hands.
At the same time, he recognizes Stevenson's technical skill, tactical awareness, and ability to dictate the pace of a fight. For Tarver, the matchup is compelling because it's not just about wins and losses. It's about how each fighter adapts, adjusts, and executes strategy under pressure. He sees it as a real test of skill, mindset, and ring intelligence, where the result could come down to who enforces their game plan more effectively.
That's when one person stay in the middle and they just spot everybody that one person stay in while they keep. That's what that was. That's what I was doing. It wasn't just Shakur there. It was Shakur there. Richard Hitcherson's was there. He didn't want to spar. Who else was there? I want to say Keyshawn brother was there. Keyshawn Davis' brother was there, but he was just there as a spectator. I was about to spar with Troy Isley. Right. Did some rounds with Troy.
You sparred all of them.
Not Keyshawn brother. That was another day. But they was all there. All of them was there. That whole little camp. And there was another gym that was there too. So it was like 2 gyms that came to give us some work.
Gary Antone Russell offers an inside look at Shakur Stevenson's training camp as he gets ready to face Teofimo Lopez, highlighting the discipline, structure, and intensity of the workouts. He explains that each session is carefully planned to refine Stevenson's skills, from technical drills to conditioning and strategic sparring. Russell stresses that the camp goes beyond physical preparation, aiming to develop mental toughness, adaptability, and focus under pressure.
Stayed in the middle and I did my rounds, boom. Did 6, hopped out, did 6 more, no, did 7 more straight. 6, hopped out, did 7 straight, boom. And the rounds that y'all seen with Shakur was the ass in my last round.
Oh, back end. The back end.
Yeah, that was the last round. That was the last round. I'm like, all right. And they was doing like 3, hop out, or 2 and hop out, 2 and hop. So they was fresh. Food was fresh. And it was before the Olympics. Motherfuckers is getting that grown man strength and that beefy body now. Like, come on, bro. But like I said before, still stands. Skills pays the bills. So you can be strong and big. If I'm gonna outskill you, then I'm gonna outskill you.
Yeah, we just saw that with Canelo and Terence, man.
Exactly.
Put on a crazy work.
Stevenson approaches each day with focus, performing every drill carefully while keeping his overall game plan in mind. The sparring sessions replicate real fight situations, helping him anticipate different styles and counters so he can adapt quickly. Russell points out that the camp's intensity constantly pushes Stevenson to improve while maintaining composure and control, qualities that have marked his rise in boxing. Overall, he comes across as a fighter fully dedicated, focused, and prepared for the challenges Lopez will bring in the ring.
It's cool. I mean, that's their opinion. Like, you know, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. But it's too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not gonna say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems. What is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him, but I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager, Jay Prince. Yep.
Okay. And does that work for you? Do you feel like this could be something that could just work for you for the time being?
When talking about his upcoming fight, Shakur Stevenson radiates calm confidence and self-assurance. He approaches the matchup with a clear, focused mindset, never showing signs of intimidation or being rattled by outside opinions. Instead of reacting emotionally to doubt or hype, he views this fight as a natural part of his growth as a fighter. Stevenson stresses preparation, strategy, and discipline, showing a maturity beyond his years. Every comment he makes reflects his deep understanding of the sport and his own abilities, highlighting both patience and calculated ambition. His composed demeanor shows he is not just fighting to prove others wrong, but to advance his career and sharpen his skills. It also demonstrates that he is mentally ready to handle pressure, adapt in the ring, and execute his game plan effectively against any opponent.